the Nets, KD and Kyrie, they became the second pair of teammates to each score 100-plus points over the same three-game span in which their team lost every game. The other duo was Kiki Vandeweghe and Alex English for the Nuggets. Here's Durant and Kyrie after the game.
Kevin, what do you think you guys need to clean up most right now just to get back on track?
It's everything, you know. You look at your whole team and look at all your schemes and just try to fine-tune it all.
All we can do is put one foot in front of the other, one day in front of the other. And teaching takes time, you know, and me and Kev, we've become teachers just playing in this league now. And we're looked upon as that. And it's not just us, it's the veterans around the league, but specifically the veterans on this team. We take our responsibility serious because this is our profession. And winning is the business.
I want to bring Zach Lowe back into this discussion because the Nets, they've dropped to 1-4. And ultimately, we know 5 games is just a drop in the bucket. But how are you assessing what you've seen from them through these first 5 games?
It's been a tough schedule, so you have to say that. The schedule gets easier now, and they better start winning. But what's worrisome is that they've struggled in exactly the ways that if you were low on the Nets, you would expect them to struggle. They're last in defense and 29th in defensive rebounding. I don't care how much firepower you have on offense. You cannot win with those kind of numbers. Look, they'll be better than last defensively. Opponents are hitting everything from 3. That's going to drop off a little bit. The size thing is more troubling. And last night, they stopped playing Simmons and Claxton together because they just realized we can't have 2 non-shooters on the floor. It's not working. And that's going to compromise their defense. And that brings you back to the second issue, which is that Ben Simmons has 28 points and 4 free throws in 5 games. And look, he needs time. We need to be patient. That's all true. This Nets team only works if this is a big 3. And right now it's not a big 3. And until it becomes one, they're a second-tier playoff team in the East, and that's just the end of it.
Yeah, I think that this was a reminder that the league is in a very healthy place. Typically, when you have Kyrie and KD go for 76-plus points the last few games, you would say, oh, that's an automatic win for their team. In the same way you could talk about AD and LeBron and the Lakers going for 30-plus, and that's an automatic win. No, the league is in a very healthy place, especially with what we've seen with Luka and what we've seen with Ja. But when it comes specifically to the Nets, you look at them. Everyone has been talking about how they're poor defensively and their rebounding is bad. You see them trying to understand that, like they're trying to protect the paint now, even though they don't have the size. But what does that mean? That means now teams are having field days. 3rd worst in the league at defending the 3. Opponents are shooting 42% from 3. The Mavs had 20 out of 40 from 3. You can't be bad at both, you know, but you see the competitive fire there. You see the want to win there. They're going to overtime. They're trying to address some things, but they still are limited schematically. And until you address those ways to defend better, you won't be able to even compete no matter how much firepower you have.
Lex?
Yeah, look, I think we've beaten up Ben Simmons enough over his offensive issues, right? But here's the thing. At least you would think you'd be getting more defensive prowess out of him. Look at what's happened with Ja Morant, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and again last night with Luka. These guys are doing whatever they want. So you're sacrificing a lot offensively, and right now you're not getting the defensive benefit from Simmons because they're not a good defensive team.
Yeah.
Right? He can do his thing individually still because he's big and physical and quick. Their principles aren't there. And what really is scary, their best 2 players scored 150 points against Memphis and Dallas, and they still lost. And I think that's why Kevin Durant jetted off the court last night at the final buzzer. I mean, he sprinted basically underneath the basket and got in the tunnel. Practically at the same time the final horn sounded. He was obviously irritated. I think it's why. He's playing great. Kyrie's playing great. They're still losing games. That starts to get scary.
And I like this idea, Legs. Let's chat a little bit about Ben Simmons defensively because I always try to reset things. When he was with the Sixers, he was a perimeter defender. Here, he's one of the bigger guys at 6'10". Asked to really rebound and defend centers in this league. And you see so many players that have their way, like you mentioned, a Zion Williamson or Giannis Antetokounmpo, or even in a situation where the Mavs don't necessarily have a traditional go-to force in the paint type of big, but still now, okay, the NBA is so versatile. they'll make threes.
Right.
What do you think about Ben Simmons switching over to, because that's where I give him some grace. It's not easy to go from the perimeter to the center and adapt.
It's very difficult. And you saw him playing Giannis. Like, he's not used to having to guard guys that can bang 3 dribbles in the post and drop step you. He didn't know what to do with him. And Luka kind of plays that way. He's so wide and physical and strong, and he sets you up. Once he gets you into the paint on his hip, you're at his mercy. He's going to get what he wants. So I think all of this is affecting Ben Simmons' confidence, I'm sure, because he's also not having the impact on that end. You know, if he's really locking guys down, maybe his teammates would see more value in him. Right now, he's sort of lost. They're scoring at a high rate, not guarding a soul. It's going to get better. Joe Harris and Seth Curry are a big part of this dynamic.
Sure.
When you get that kind of shooting back also, it is going to make things a little bit easier for everybody else, and maybe they'll win some of these shootout games.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.